Okay, so somebody asked me recently, Nicholas asked me to show my posters, okay? Now, I actually did this in a live stream, but, I don't expect people to watch my live streams, because it's kind of weird and random, and I'm not really used to doing that type of content. I'm trying to get comfortable with it so I can do Twitch and try to make money off of these rants and my piano punk. But I know you guys have already seen this one. Women just don't understand. Women will never understand because they don't have spatial reasoning. Okay? But this kind of goes along with that. Women will always be followers. It's true. And that's not to say that certain women can't lead, but if women lead, it's because they're more in touch with the masculine part of their brain, and that's why they're able to do that, okay? So we shouldn't be encouraging women to be leaders because they suck at that. They're just not naturally good at that, okay? That doesn't mean they can't do it. It just means that, well, most of them, honestly, no, most of them can't do that. If some of them can, it's because they're weird, okay? They're the exception to the rule. Most women are followers. They want to fit in. That's why, up until the 70s, they were being taken care of by a man. And back when men made a lot of sense, they don't anymore, but back in the day they used to, and things made a lot more sense in society, and, you know, women belonged to a man, and if that man was good, he didn't beat her, he didn't rape her, and he didn't cheat on her, okay? So we should try to uphold better conduct for everybody, and we should punish bad conduct. Now, I know have you guys seen this one? God Creates Safe Spaces? That one's about libtards, okay? Sorry I said that word, but I just had to. It's true. It's true. They're very stupid. They're very fucking stupid if they can't handle somebody not agreeing with their lifestyle. You know? So if you believe in God, and if you're just in touch with your spirit, if you're just cool with yourself, you don't need anybody to create a safe space for you. Like, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You have already created that within yourself because you're comfortable with who you are. So that's what that means. Who else wants to quit the internet? I'm sure a lot of people do. They won't, but they say that they do. Okay? Having a childhood is a luxury. Very true, especially now, considering the iPad kids and the tablet kids, and, you know, I call that shit progressive abortion. So, yeah. It's really sad that neglect is the norm now. And let me tell you, all those kids are going to develop NPD. It's narcissist personality disorder, okay? All those kids. They're either going to be narcissists or they're just going to be straight up sociopaths. So, that's good news, isn't it? There is a they that controls shit, okay? It's not just the Jews, but it does have a lot to do with them. Okay, they want you to scroll till you're dead, okay? And most of you will. Every generation fails. Tired of them blaming the Zoomers for everything. If you look at all the generations that preceded the Zoomers, they were fucking stupid too. And they subjected themselves to all kinds of technology and all kinds of cultural warfare that gave way to the Zoomer generation that has retarded them. And I feel sorry for them because they're doing the best that they can with the bullshit that their parents subjected themselves to. Or subjected them to, my bad. And Generation Alpha, oh my goodness, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. Because a lot of people are saying that all the kids are so stupid. The kids can't read. The kids can't talk. They can't communicate. No, they can't because their parents are retarded. I don't care, dude. If you aren't conscious of what technology can do, if you're not conscious of like how that shit's a drug, then yeah, like what kind of kids are you gonna raise? You know, it's like these parents that are like smoking weed in the next room, like their kids smoking weed, smoking crack, whatever they're doing, shooting up dope, and their kids are just watching TV. It's very similar to that, you know? In fact, in certain ways, I think it's worse because you can get off heroin, you can get off crack, you can get off weed, but like, the phones are just being encouraged. Neglect is being encouraged. Okay, think about that. This is one I showed y'all before I started working on this, before a church service outside. See, I fixed the C, y'all. I did it. I did it. This culling experiment is going very well. Okay? About social media. Now, I really, really like this one. This is a very schizophrenic poster. Why do you get high? I wish that more people would ask themselves that question. I think that if they did, they wouldn't feel the need to do it anymore. Because they would go, oh, childhood trauma. Maybe I should resolve that. Maybe I should, like, try to figure that out and understand these compulsions, you know? If you ask yourself more questions and you develop more awareness of why you do the things that you do, you're going to see these, like, patterns of behavior. And if you start to recognize these patterns, the more awareness that you have of them, the more capable you are of being able to change them. Okay? So, anyway. Everything is a potential opportunity. So true. That's why I started talking to AI. I need a therapist bad. Don't pee in my punch bowl. I think I showed you guys that one. That's all about people wanting to cramp in on your fucking space. And they want to talk to you. So say you're like talking to yourself. You're just carrying on, having the best conversation in your life with yourself. None other than yourself. Okay? And then people are like, what you talking about? What you talking about, Amy? Not you, sweetheart. Bye-bye. But, yeah. It's like people trying to, like, ruin the party that you're having with yourself. Don't pee in my punch bowl. Okay? Can anybody prove that it happened? This is about history. Okay? This is about all the stuff you read in the McGraw-Hill textbook. We did not land on the fucking moon. Okay? Is there even a moon? Brutal honesty is an even better policy. Okay? It really fucking is, dude. It really is. Because if you're brutally honest with people, I need guillotine honesty. Okay? Guillotine honesty. I said that in a recent live stream. I think that's pretty funny. I want to chop somebody's head off. And, I mean, they'll act like you did, too. They'll act like their neck is, like, hanging on. Because they're, you know, they can't handle it. They can't handle somebody just being literally cutthroat. Okay? But, yeah. It's the best policy. Honesty is the best policy. Brutal honesty is an even better policy than the best policy. Okay? Because it weeds out really stupid people. Really, really emotionally charged, overly sensitive people. That you don't want around because they're eggshell people. Okay? Eggshell people, much like the title suggests, are people you gotta tiptoe around. Okay? So cluster B people. Okay? Antisocial, narcissist, histrionic, and borderline personality. Okay? Borderline personalities are the easiest ones to deal with, surprisingly. They really are, because they're on the borderline. So they still have a sense of humor, they still have some kind of self-awareness, and they're aware of the fact that their childhoods were fucked up. So, I've always been able to do well with borderline personalities, but narcissists, it's like, I'm so fucking sick of dealing with these fucking people, dude. So sick of it. And I'm sure that they're going to accuse me of being that way. But the difference is I can totally acknowledge all my fucking shortcomings. And just because I am open and honest about the fact that, you know, yeah, I want to be alone. Like, Can I show up earlier for stuff? Yes, I can. Can I try a little harder to be on time? Yes, I can. But I can't force myself to enjoy a holiday, okay? I can't force myself to, like, want to spend time with people, you know? And it's like, if I'm there, I'm not even really gonna be there, like, mentally. So it's just basically like people that make these kinds of demands, they're just like asking you to lie all the time. And because they lie all the time, they expect other people, they make these demands of other people to not be authentic. Like when you say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to go here. No, I don't want to spend more time with you. No, I don't want you to do that for me. No, could you please stop doing things that I don't need you to do for me because you need to validate yourself? Like, when you express yourself and you indicate that you're not okay with the way that somebody's treating you and they're like violating your boundaries and they can't accept that, like, that's like a level of honesty that a lot of people aren't ready for, you know? Because people can say all day that they love honesty until you're honest with them. Okay? Welcome to the gender after party. Okay? Since 1973. So yeah, we don't have real men. We don't have real women. A lot of people are talking about that now. But yeah, it's been a thing. It's been a thing. They've been chipping away at that for a long time now. So it's a lot easier with pharmaceuticals too, because once they get people on pharmaceuticals, they can alter everyone's hormones. And so people aren't capable of what we're supposed to be. Like, we're not anything remotely close to what we're supposed to be in regards to our humanity. I mean, that's why everyone's obsessed with identity. It's because it means nothing. Okay? It means nothing to be a woman. It means nothing to be a man. It means nothing to be black. It means nothing to be white. Okay? They only talk about black and white. They don't talk about brown or yellow or anything else. Just black and white, because they know that the tension is there between black people and white people. So, yeah. Means absolutely nothing. Just means you're a fucking moron. Anyway, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. Okay? So, just stop. Just stop that shit. Stop reading the book of Revelations and trying to understand what it means. You're not supposed to know. Okay? So, Jesus said, only the Father knows. Okay? If Jesus is of God and he's saying that, then, I mean, yeah, it's really not up to his so-called disciples or apostles or saints to know. Okay? So all these people that think they know all this shit, it's like, who are you, Eve? You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like they're all obsessed with eating that fucking apple. I mean, that's why technology's bad, because it makes people think they know a lot more than they actually do. Now, that doesn't mean that technology can't be used for good. It doesn't mean that people can't, like, utilize the internet and learn a lot from the internet. But this ego-driven, know-it-all bullshit, that's a huge reason why Christianity is such a fucking joke in this country, okay? Anyway, why make it easy for them? That's why I don't have a smartphone, okay? I know that not most people can't go this route, but I've gone this route because I fucking hate Steve Jobs. I hate Steve Jobs. I hate the elites. I hate Mark Schmuckerberg with a passion. I wish I could stab him to death. And that's not wrong. If you have that desire, you are not wrong. Okay? Back to the gender after party. Men are women 2.0. Okay? I think I've done this poster before. I'm pretty sure I have. But I felt like doing it again, I guess. I need to, like, organize my posters so I can put them on Instagram. I haven't posted on Instagram in, like, 7 or 8 months. I really need to do that. I just don't feel like it. Because it's gonna take a lot of time. Because I've done a lot of posters since then. I think I put up, like, I don't know, at least, like, 120-something posters on there. So, lots of stuff, y'all. Lots of stuff. But yeah, you don't have actual men anymore. because they're on the internet so much, and a lot of the pharmaceuticals have fucked with their hormones to make them more feminine. And, you know, the same medication, along with birth control, has fucked with the hormones of women to make them more masculine. Okay? But, like I have said, it's not real masculinity, it's not real femininity. So, it's just this, like, jacked up, altered hormonal imbalance, you know. It's fucked up. Anyway, it might not be whatever you want it to be. This is about a lot of stuff that people obsess about. Like the book of Revelations. Like, oh, Jesus is coming back. No, he's not. He's already come back. That's already happened. All this stuff that they talk about, it's already happened. Okay? Your timeline is off. There is no such thing as a chemical imbalance. Shout out to Eli Lilly that sold a bunch of Prozac in the 70s, and a lot of fucking pieces of shit fell for this because they want to believe that their depression is as simple as a chemical imbalance. Now, I'm not saying you're an idiot because you fell for the propaganda, but if it's not working, if it's not fixing you, why do you still take it? That's what doesn't make any sense to me. It's like these people don't have any faith in themselves to figure things out on their own. That's what makes me really, really sad. But yeah, they sold people on this idea that there's a chemical imbalance in the brain that causes depression. So, oh, well, it's serotonin. We don't have enough serotonin. So they take pills that jack up their serotonin, but when you do that, it's going to mess with your bodily functions. Imagine that. So, yeah, they sold people on this idea. Now they're saying in these commercials, they're not claiming that it is a chemical imbalance. They're saying that, oh, it's thought of to be a chemical imbalance. So they changed their vernacular, but they're still selling you the same shit products. So they're basically telling you, if you read between the lines, they're telling you, yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but we're still going to sell these shit products because we know you'll keep buying them. Okay? Because you want it to be simple. And it's never that simple. Okay? Popping a pill, it's not going to fix it. That's what I'm trying to say. If it does give you any kind of alleviation of whatever you're dealing with, it's going to be really short-lived, which is why, like, you got to figure out a holistic way to deal with it, you know? Or maybe just accept that you feel like shit sometimes. I mean, what is so wrong about feeling like shit sometimes? That's life, honey. That's fucking life. Anyway, trust me, I know. I have what clinicians would call schizophrenic, so we're all over the place. We don't pop pills, okay? But yeah, I mean, our lows are really fucking low. But that's why our highs are so high and we seem like we're fucking manic. But I don't even understand what's wrong with that, dude. It's like, why are people so scared of that? What do they think is going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Absolutely fucking nothing but more art, baby. More art, okay? What isn't misunderstood? Speaking of schizophrenia, okay? The easy way typically ain't the right way. Speaking of popping pills, all right? That's true. People they don't want to do things that would alleviate the symptoms. Because that would take a lot of work and a lot of discipline. You know, changing your diet, exercising, sleeping better, not staring at a phone, not watching so much TV, not jerking off to porn for 6 hours. You know, that takes a lot of discipline. So I can understand. I mean, I empathize with that, the struggle of that. But at the same time, like, that's life. You know, if you want a better life, you have to work for it. You can't just get it from a shrink, you know? Group feel. There's no such thing as group think because groups don't think. Okay, groups do not think. Groups feel. Black lives matter. Okay? Not to blacks, though. Not to blacks.
I mean, if you see how many times they kill each other, it's kind of obvious that they don't matter to blacks. So they go on and on about police killing them, even though police kill other people too from other races. If they really wanted to talk about police brutality, they could include all the races. But they don't actually care about police brutality. They just want... I think it's like a multifaceted psyop. It's a multifaceted psyop to make black people look really fucking stupid. And there are plenty of black people that aren't violent and don't go along with this crap. So, no shade on y'all, okay? Y'all get the brunt of this shit, okay? There is nobody that is more damaged by the black community than the black community, okay? So anytime you have these YNs or whatever the fuck, they're giving all of them a terrible name. And don't think I don't know that. So I'm not playing the victim because I'm white or whatever the fuck. Like, I think a lot of this stuff with the black on white violence with, what was that guy, Carmelo Anthony or whatever the fuck. I think a lot of that stuff's a psyop. I really do. Just like I think that all, the Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, what was that bitch's name? Say her name! Say her name! Say her name! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't remember her name. That's terrible. It'll come to me after I finish the video. You know who I'm talking about, though. That chick that was supposedly like a security guard or something, and like she was shot by a cop. I don't remember her name though. Not right now. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. Who is that dude? That fentanyl loving dude that punched a pregnant bitch in the stomach. That wonderful person. George Floyd, right? George Floyd. I mean, look, I don't want the police to take anybody out. I don't like that at all. But at the same time, if somebody's acting crazy and the police takes them out, is it really that shocking that happened? I mean, like, I don't understand that. So, anyway. Group feel. Group don't think. Group feel. Okay? So all that stuff is for the purpose of, like, getting black people all riled up so they prove how dumb they are. And then it gives everybody this idea that all blacks are like that. But many of them aren't. Okay? Unfortunately, you have the two types of stupid blacks. You have, like, the really, like, ignorant ones that are, really violent and impulsive and, like, real susceptible to the social conditioning, which is why they made rap music. And then you have the ones that think that white people are the problem and that every problem in the black community is because of white people. Okay, I actually think those people are way worse. Because, like, the second group is way more brainwashed than the first group. The first group is just stupid and their frontal lobe is fucked up. The second group is just narcissistic. And they don't want to accept the fact that their people are screwed up. But that being said, it's not just because, like, oh, you have black skin. It's because, like, there's a genetic predisposition of that sort of behavior, And I would say that white people are genetically predisposed to have that follower type gene. Like, oh, we do this because everybody else is doing it. And they want to fit in. I mean, if you look at how many white people are on psychiatric drugs and how many of them identify as gay and lesbian and trans and all that shit, and none of them are actually any of those things. But they think it makes them interesting to identify that way. So, it's just sad. I would say that black people and white people are really, really screwed up. Involved in their group. So, they're the ones that are part of that brainwashing experiment. Like, I would say Latinos and Chinese people, and, like, they're not they can't be fucked with in the same way, at least not in America, you know? So America's all about the black and the white, right? Convenience corrupts. It's about technology. Ye worship ye know not what, we know what we worship. Okay, so this is about how people in the world, like, they have no idea, like, why they fall into these traps. But, you know, people that are very spiritual, like, they understand themselves and they understand, like, the things that they believe in. And so, I mean, a lot of these motherfuckers of the world, they're obsessed with the people, places, and things. That's why they idolize sexist shit like Donald Trump. That's why they idolize, you know, stupid liberal celebrities. That's why they idolize countries. That's why they idolize, like, certain mindsets, certain political ideologies, as I call them. So it's kind of a way of worshiping themselves in a way, like they see these people, places, and things as, like, adjacent to them. And that's why these people can't take criticism for anything. So that's why I don't care if you shit on my God, you know. If you deliberately, like, say things to attack my faith because you want to be hurtful or whatever, that's one thing that I don't put up with, and I shouldn't have to put up with. It's another thing if you, like, respectfully disagree with me, that's fine. You don't have to believe in anything I believe in, because I know what I worship, and I know why I worship it. Anyway. Most autism is voluntary. Very true. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. And it's not just voluntary for the people that have autism, it's voluntary for the parents that give it to them. And I'm not just talking about the thingies that they get stuck with. I'm talking about, you know, the screens that they're taught to play with from a very young age. And it's eating their brain like gangrene. No need for declarations. White people. Okay. That was a poster for white people. Internetville is so boring. It really is. That needs no explanation. Get over it and get on with it. That's about slavery. Empathy ain't political. That's about liberals. But you can't politicize empathy because empathy is a lot like humility. Okay, it's not anything that you can put on a fucking sash. You know, because it's not a fun thing. When you feel for other people, that's not an enjoyable experience. Did I show y'all this? This world is the grift that keeps on grifting. I don't know if you can see that. I put an arrow. It looks so dumb. It looks so dumb that I did it twice. This world is the grift that keeps on grifting. So, just liars. That's all these people are. Liars. You do it for the dopamine. Everyone on Twitter. It's been time to be skeptical. It's about the AI. Testosterone ain't the problem. Okay? That's for feminists. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Alright? No such thing. This is coffee, by the way. This is coffee, but it looks like a dick. It looks like a dick that jizzed. Isn't that hilarious? I think that is so fucking funny. But yeah. I really like stuff like that. I just think it's really cool. Everyone is a drug addict. That's about pretty much every aspect of American culture. The sorcery always works. Once again, about American culture, especially in relation to that godforsaken television that everybody has to have. Because if they didn't, they would have to face themselves. And if they did that, they probably would off themselves.